I think Cotton, they're talking about Cotton for Coach of the Year because he's done it with a reconstructed team and the team that no one figured would be in the thick of things. I'll tell you what, they've got 9 out of 11 first-round draft choices on their team. Right. I think more than any other team in the league. So what I'm saying is some pretty quality players there. And if you do get careless, as the Celtics did in Kansas City, they're going to get in trouble.
All right, the Celtics control the tap. Larry Bird is starting. There was some question, but we wanted to wait until game time to see what would happen. Maxwell low with a snaking move, doesn't get it. Larry has a problem with a bunion in the bottom of his right foot, but he's starting the game. Larry Drew, who is having quite a season, 9 assists, 19.5 points a game, is the actually spark plug guard of this team. This is Ray Williams, who came over from New Jersey. The deal low, 2 for Eddie Johnson. And the Kings lead 2-0. Ahead to Maxwell, trying to go back to Parrish as the trailer. Bad pass, and the Kings come back. Behind the back job, the miss by Johnson, and Joe Merriweather puts it in.
Celtics come out very flat, in case you haven't noticed it. And what have we played? Less than a minute. They're going to have to pick it up just a bit.
Tiny Archibald draws the foul on forward Ed Neely. Neely, an 8th-round draft choice. Watch this play.
Take a peek. Tiny looking for an opening. He just, as he does so well, throws himself into the big man. He senses that mismatch so quickly. As soon as he picks up a bigger man, and then Neely at 6'8", he picked up the mismatch even quicker. Really, he just throws himself into it. He uses his body so effectively and picked up the foul on a big guy.
Okay. Celtics get their first point. They missed the second one, but Bird with the offensive rebound. Tries to whip one inside, slapped away by the Kings, picked up in the backcourt by Cedric Maxwell. So the Celtics are down 4-1 here in the early going. Comes up top to Robert Parrish. Now Bird, who had the spectacular night the other night against Phoenix, loses the handle. Nice bounce feed in low to Maxwell, but he shot it up underneath the hoop.
Celts really struggling in the early going. Kansas City running more than I thought they might.
Blocked by Parrish.
Now that's something that'll awaken a team quickly, although it went right to Ray Williams, who was their shooting guard.
And
from New York.
Maxwell is on the floor. Yeah. He was injured right after that last missed shot, and we never saw it because we were following the ball. But he's on the deck, and we do not have a replay of it as
Larry Bird found Max underneath with that bounce pass along the baseline. It looked like Max had to get himself out from under the basket, and in so doing he kind of backed into a lot of pressure there. No foul was called, but obviously there was a little contact. Ray Malcurie seems to be fingering his left knee. Got Silver out there giving Raymond a hand. Max is hurting a little bit.
Yes, he is. And he's going to come out, and Kevin McHale will come in to replace him. Let's see if we can get it here.
There it is. That's where he's trying to back away from the pressure, and he gets clobbered from behind by Ray Williams.
Yeah, and he immediately grabbed for his left knee.
Yeah, evidently it was just, that he fell off balance. I don't know. He absorbed the pressure from behind, and this knocked him to the ground, but nothing happened after that other than the injury to the knee.
All right, so it is 6-1 Kansas City here with 10 minutes and 15 seconds to go in the first quarter. McHale is in replacing Maxwell. They go low to the Chief, who had a great road trip. Misses the first shot. McHale working hard off the boards. 3 taps, and it doesn't go. Larry Drew.
They look for Larry immediately. He's second in the league in assists. And they give him the credit, really, for putting this team together.
Bad pass.
Away.
He led Bird by too much, and it's another turnover for the Celtics. That's 2 in the first couple of minutes, and they're down 8-1.
Well, as they've so often done, as we stated on top,
dug a hole.
These no-name teams, they come out flat and they come out careless, and that's a bad combination.
Drew around and in.
And the defense is it's present, but it's not active.
10-1 Kansas City. Opening couple of minutes of play. Ainge handling the ball for the first time. Double pump layup. Danny taking it strong to the basket to make it 10-3. That's the first Celtics basket of the game. So they went 2.5 minutes without a basket to start the game off. Look at this feed. The Bird steps into the passing lane.
Beautiful. Larry anticipated that move by Drew. He went up in the air. That's always dangerous.
Tiny. Coast to coast. 10-5 with 9 minutes to go in the first quarter.
You know, it applies against weak teams or good teams, obviously. But if you're going to start off flat, or if you're going to go flat during a game, you're obviously better off starting off that way when you've got 3 quarters or 3 1/2. Ray Williams with a nice move.
Yes, sir.
To make up for it or get it in gear. If you do that in the last quarter, that's when you really run into problems. So stay with us for a while. The Celtics are going to pick it up.
All right, Parrish on the turnaround over Merriweather doesn't get it. Ray Williams has the rebound for Kansas City. 12-5 they lead. Ed Johnson.
A quick forward, second round,
throws it away.
Second round draft choice. Not too good a passer, as you notice, but a fine offensive rebounder. He's leading the team at 6'7" and a small forward and rebounding. There's Cotton.
Well, 8:27 to go in the first quarter. Kansas City leading 12-5.
My old buddy Cotton looks like he got a new perm for the game. He's all frizzed up there.
Parrish, Joe Merriweather on him. Bird, alley-oop job to McHale, but defense nicely by Ray Williams. It goes off his fingers and out of bounds. This Ed Neely's quite a story. 8th round draft choice from Kansas State. 166th player overall, a rookie. And he made this club, and he's starting for them.
Yeah, not a gazelle out there, but he works hard. This team was categorized somewhere recently as the plow horses of the league in a racehorse game. So I haven't seen them this year. I assume that means that they're a bit slow, but I'll tell you, they're averaging through.
Fouled by Ainge.
They're averaging 113 a game, the same as the Celts. So other than a little perhaps letdown in defense, this is the only thing that separates the clubs other than some names. Here's Drew, takes it in. He had an opportunity to give it to 25 for the layup, passed it up and picked up the foul instead.
They're averaging 113 a game, but they're giving up 113 a game. Larry Drew is one of the better foul shooters in the league. 81.2 free throws on the season, coming in averaging 9 assists and 19.5 points per game.
Drew was a #1 draft pick by Detroit in 80 or 81, whatever. It was the same year as Isaiah came in, so you know what happened. They felt he was expendable, and he came over here to back up Phil Ford, and he simply outplayed Phil Ford, and they got rid of Ford.
Bird downtown takes his first shot, and he floats it in. 13-7. 7:40 left in the first quarter. The Celtics scoring only 7 points in the first 6.5 minutes of play. Williams on the turnaround. Kings are hot. They've got a hot shooting percentage so far. Parrish leads the field, has it partially blocked by Merriweather, but he was fouled.
Merriweather now, they've got 3 centers on this team, and if they could wrap them all up and put them together, they'd have one hell of an NBA center, but unfortunately they don't. They've got 3 specialists. Merriweather, who you just saw with the good pursuit, getting back into that play on Rabbit, is the defensive specialist. Steve Johnson is the offensive specialist, and LaSalle Thompson, who
is
we're
the
going to see
rebounder.
later on, is the rebounder. Right. So Cotton has evidently done it with mirrors, rotating these 3 guys effectively all year long.
Here's Joe C. Merriweather from Southern Illinois, the Salukis. Now Eddie Johnson and Larry Drew. It's 15-9, KC leading. Celtics have never led in the game. Drew blocked by Parrish, his second block of the game.
Oh, it's nice to have the big guy behind you, isn't it?
Line pass to Ainge. Back to Bird. Nifty. 15-11.
Well, now it's picking up a little. Cotton wants to slow it down, and this is what I was expecting all game long. Last year when they came in here, they didn't run one single fast break the entire first half, and they ran a very disciplined half-court offense. They were in the game most of the way. Williams, by the way, is about the only game breaker type that they've got out there. He's the only guy capable of developing a real hot hand and hurting you.
He's 4 for 4 from the floor, and there's timeout on the floor. 6:47 to go. First quarter, it is Kansas City 17, the Celtics 11. The floor, 88%. Celtics are 4 out of 10. 4 turnovers, Boston, 2 Kansas City. The Celtics are down by 6 here in the first quarter. 6:47 left. They did not get the ball in time, I do not believe.
No,
or was a foul call?
Well, Strom, I think, got a foul, and if that's the case, he'll shoot 2.
Yep.
If the foul occurred before the ball was inbounded.
They were close to losing it as well.
Yes, they were. That's probably what made Danny a little, over enthusiastic. When that clock starts to get close to 5 in your mind, you you try a little harder. Evidently, Danny tried a little too hard. Second on Danny and second team foul.
It's 18-11 now, Kansas City. One more free throw for Ray Williams, and he makes them both. He's been with the Knicks, the Nets, and now Kansas City.
He came over to replace the loss of Otis Birdsong. This team has been decimated by the free agent situation in the past couple of years.
Ainge rims the baseline jumper, but the Chief in low. Back to Ainge again. Good. 19-13, 6:27 all the way and in for Eddie Johnson.
Well,
he's a smallish forward, 6'8", 215. Bird, I don't know how he got through there. Doesn't get the shot. Johnson ahead to Ray Williams, and he misses his first shot of the game. Kevin Loder had the rebound. McHale blocked the shot, but he's called for the foul.
Yeah, but it's too late to complain about it because Neely had already beaten everyone down floor. He established a good position for himself, and he deserved. You see the three white shirts are all behind him. He deserved to come out of there with something. You know, on that defensive board, you theoretically should have the inside position unless someone beats you to him, and that's what Neely did.
Ed Neely is 6'8". He's a rookie. He's averaging 4.5 points a game. That's his first free throw. Does not get the second. So it is 22-13. Kansas City by 9 points. Tiny doesn't go, but
that'll be a charge.
Charging foul on Archibald. Tiny's first foul. Casey pushing it back. The Celtics having a very poor first half of the first quarter.
Yeah, I don't think there's any point in this pointing out the obvious. If you've watched up to now, you know the Celtics are not playing well and they're flat. Kansas City, on the other hand, is
smoking.
Come out smoking.
Larry Drew getting the assist on the hoop by Ed Johnson. And it's 24-13, biggest Boston deficit of the game. McHale posting up Neely, and School was out as soon as that ball went in low.
Yeah, that's a tough. Well, I keep saying it's a tough matchup for whoever's guarding McHale. He's so difficult to guard, 6'10" and strong. So if you go, you know, with the power forward, which they're doing, he's going to establish position. If you go with the small forward, they can alley-oop over his head. So he's very difficult to match up against, especially inside.
Ball knocked out by Bird. There's Cotton Fitzsimmons, and he'll be put in play by Ed Johnson. 8 seconds to go first quarter. Neely to Johnson. They double team. He shoots it anyway. And Ainge had the rebound, but Joe C. Merriweather committed the loose ball foul. Third team foul on KC.
Danny with a good position this time. There's Merriweather coming over. I'll tell you, that kid skies, doesn't he?
Sure does.
It's up there well. Tell you, Kansas City, you know, the Celtics scored 10 more field goals than Kansas City.
They were outshot something
and they were
fierce
outshot
the foul
by
line.
25 free throws from the line.
They only attempted 2 in the second half of that game. And we've got an offensive foul on McHale. His second personal foul.
And the fourth team, I guess. No, that's offense.
Joe Merriweather goes out for Kansas City. He's replaced by Steve Johnson, 6'10", 235-pounder. Third year from Oregon State.
And obviously Parrish has to
Steal
adjust.
by Ainge and a foul on Ainge.
It's not a good foul in that it's the third for Danny.
Fourth on the team.
And the fourth on the team. Yeah, Robert Parrish, in view of what we said a moment ago about the 3 specialist type centers, has to adjust his thinking and how he guards Steve Johnson. He is the shooting center now. Shoots with both hands, will hurt you if you give him the inside position, and can go outside. So Robert cannot guard the middle as effectively as he did when Merriweather was in there, who is theoretically a non-shooter.
Williams, who has been red hot in this first half, misses. McHale off to Tiny. Celtics are down by 9 points. Tiny all the way coast to coast and loses the ball. 3-on-1 KC. Oh, nice work, Williams.
Beautiful.
Return pass to Eddie Johnson.
Nice play by Williams. Williams is in the top 10 in assists as well.
Yeah, he's got 7.5 per game. Knocked out by Neely.
Williams is number 7 in the league, so I'll tell you, he's become a passer since he came here. In New York, he went about 3 years and never picked up an assist.
All right, Parrish. Now Bird. Back to Parrish. Doesn't get it, but McHale is there to ram it home. 26-17.
Celtics trying to work inside and take advantage of Parrish now, who becomes a difficult matchup for Steve Johnson, and of course McHale, who we've talked about.
Parrish, nice play. Stepped right in the middle and deflected the ball away. Off to McHale. Good job all the way around, defensively and on the feed by Archibald. 29-19. Celtics cut it down to 7. They've trailed by as many as 11, and KC wants a timeout. So 3:37 to play first quarter. It is Kansas City 26 and the Celtics 19. All right, play back in. Kansas City leading 26-19. Chiefs have done it on 11 out of 14 shooting from the floor. And some very nice passing like that, but Bird blocks the shot. That's the third Celtic block of the game. Alley-oop job to Parrish, slapped away. Drew has his pocket picked by Archibald, but it's taken back by Neely to Drew. And from deep in the corner, 2 points from Mike Woodson, who has just checked into the game.
Woodson's a shooter.
Boy, he scored 48 the other night off the bench in a game to tie the NBA record for most points as a substitute in a game. 48 points off the bench.
When you've got a team working as hard as Kansas City is on defense, you should be very careful about putting a pass up for grabs. You've got to put mustard on any pass, just like that pass in there to Parrish. Don't hang it, because if a team's got good intensity, they're normally going to make something happen if you keep it up there too long.
Hi, Kansas City now. Again, this is Mike Woodson, former Indiana star, and he buries his second shot in 2 tries.
I'll tell you, I can see why Kansas City was in first place in that Midwest Division for so much of the season so far. They're, without the name players, they're doing a good job. Yep. They work well together. They swing that ball. They're unselfish. They're working at the D. They don't have that much physical talent to play it, I'm sure, the way Cotton perhaps would like it, but they're working at it.
McHale coming up with a rebound. The Celtics have cut the lead back to 9 points. Tiny working it low to Parrish. Celtics have been going there all evening long so far, and the Chief hits the basket, and it counts, and he was fouled.
Good job. He stepped away eventually from at least 3 men, I believe. There's Johnson blocking his way. Johnson, the other Johnson, stops by. I think that's why they traded Reggie Johnson.
There are too many Johnsons.
Yeah, the statistician for Kansas City.
Yeah, he went crazy.
Complained that he couldn't keep up with it.
Yeah. Well, they had to get a new one. The guys, just went bananas. Because they had the 3 of them.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, I can understand that.
How many Johnsons can you have on a team?
Look at this. Behind the back pass, but going about 90 miles an hour.
I'll tell you what, Larry, I know you're in second place in assists, but behind the back through the middle, it was a little much.
Parrish. Nice dish off to Ainge, cutting the baseline. Strong. Nice play.
You're exactly right. Danny took it up nice and strong that time. Didn't take any chances with it.
The miss by Drew. The rebound to Bird. Celtics are within 4. Ainge pulls up, banks it. No. Gets his own rebound. Yes.
The Celtics got Kansas City taking a quick shot. That's exactly what Celtics want. I'm sure it's not what Cotton wants. He's up looking a little disgusted.
They've scored, the Celtics have scored 9 unanswered points.
The worst thing you can do against this team. Wow, good job by Drew. That's a momentum breaker a little bit for them. Worst thing you can do is, if you're sitting on a lead and the Celtics get 1 or 2, is to come right back and take the quick outside shot. That's when you want to cool it and go into your 8 or 10 or 22 exchanges, and right before the 24-second clock, then look for something. But if you give it back quickly, and the Celtics develop that hot hand, boy, they can run 10 or 12 points in a hurry on you.
Well, they ran 9 in the space of about a minute and a half. It's 33-28 now. KC by 5 with a minute to go in the first quarter, as the Celtics intensity has picked up decidedly. Bird goes right around Eddie Johnson and does not hit. Rebound deep to Mike Woodson. Big guard at 6'5". And it's nearly blocked, but tipped in by Ed Neely.
They're beating the Celtics to that offensive board. Not many teams do that. But so far in that event, Kansas City. Tiny works hard and gets himself one.
A lot of work for Tiny Archibald, and he gets two, and Drew comes all the way back. Woodson, who has hit his first two shots, hits another one. KC's shooting statistics at the end of this quarter should be something to behold. Line pass off to Parrish. Two more. They're just running and gunning right now. 37-32. Kansas City with a 5-point lead. Very high scoring first quarter for both teams. Drew all the way. No. McHale the bound. That's the end of the quarter, as they did nothing but fire shots away throughout the first quarter. At the end of one, it is Kansas City 37, the Celtics 32. Bob Cousy at the Garden, where after one quarter it's KC by 5, 37-32. The Kings shooting 16 of 23. That's 70% in the first quarter. The Celtics 14 of 26 as you look at the Chief. Ainge and McHale with 8 points each for the Celtics. Williams 10. Drew and Eddie Johnson 8 apiece for KC. Coos, your comments on the quarter?
Well, you know, as we said, Celtics came out flat. Kansas City capitalized on it, really. They came out with good intensity. There's Casey, my old buddy. A lot of old friends today. Easy Ed McCauley for you older fans
Wait
out there.
Wait a minute.
Well, 30 and over. How's
okay,
that? 30 and over.
Much.
That encompasses a lot of people.
Okay.
We'll be talking to Easy Ed at halftime, asking some of his reflections on getting back to the old building.
There you go with our leading scorers so far.
Scores. In any event, Kansas City has simply outplayed the Celtics so far in every department. The good news is that the last few minutes, Kansas City was trying to run with Boston after developing a lead of as high as, what, 10 or 12 points there, and taking a quick shot. If they continue to do that, Boston will make up the deficit in a hurry.
ML Carr was called for a pushing off foul on Ray Williams. All right, Reggie King, who has checked in, hits his first shot for KC. The Celtics have Archibald and Carr at the guards. Roby in the middle now. Maxwell is back in with McHale at the forwards. ML floats one in. Go ahead, Coos.
No, I was going to say they're still not pressuring the ball. You know, they're allowing it to come pretty much as low as it wants. Kansas City is running its set offense without disturbance, you know. And as a result, they're creating the shot they're looking for, and then there isn't enough pressure on the ball once this occurs. They simply have to pick up the defensive intensity.
Eddie Johnson and now Ray Williams from deep downtown on the miss. McHale the rebound. That's his 6th rebound. Tiny back. ML feels the hot hand. Doesn't have it on the second shot he takes. Kansas City right now has Woodson and Williams as the guards, with Steve Johnson at center, Eddie Johnson and Reggie King the forwards. Archibald goes out. Gerald Henderson replaces him for the Celtics. It's 39-34, KC by 5, 11 minutes to go first half. Williams, now Eddie Johnson. Nearly had it stolen. Woodson. He can shoot it, can't he?
I'm sure Bill Fitch and Casey and Jimmy Rogers and the boys have done a thorough job in scouting Kansas City and letting the boys know who can shoot better than others. But I tell you, they're not playing Woodson like he's a shooter.
That was one of the great NBA steals as far as trades go. They got Mike Woodson from the Knicks for Mike Newland, who only played a couple of years with New York and is now out of the league. And Kansas City has shot ahead to a 9-point lead, and Bill Fitch wants a timeout right now. So with 10:20 left to play in the first half, it is Kansas City 43, the Celtics 34. Play back in. Kansas City up by 9, 43-34. They go low to Roby. Rick muscles his way in, doesn't get it. ML, good job off the offensive boards. He doesn't get it either. Reggie King, the former Alabama star, back. Now Woodson, Williams, and Steve Johnson, who thunders through the middle and took steps as he was doing it. Sort of lurching through the middle is what he was doing.
Steve is not the most graceful center. He's got pretty good speed, but he just doesn't coordinate the feet all the time properly when he wants them to take him somewhere. But he is a fine shooter. He doesn't do his rebounding for his size, and that's why he's no longer a starter for Kansas City.
McHale trying to bust his way in, can't do it. Roby off the glass. No, McHale, and a foul called on Eddie Johnson. Right now Kansas City has Woodson and Williams, Steve Johnson, Reggie King, and Eddie Johnson on the floor.
Well, there's Kevin. After he stumbled going through, regained his balance and got himself in good rebounding position on the Roby miss.
Kenny Denard from Duke is into the ball game for Kansas City. 6'8" forward, now in his third year. One of the great stories in pro sports this year. He is just back on the active list a couple of weeks ago and has battled all the way back from abdominal cancer. Had an operation and is back and playing in the NBA, and that's really one of the marvelous stories of the year in pro sports. McHale gets both free throws. So it's 43-36 KC. Ray Williams. Remember when he and Michael Ray Richardson were the Knick guards, Coos?
Well,
between them they averaged 2 assists.
Yeah, I've been telling you what a
Maxwell.
great shooter Johnson is, but Al Strom has a travel call at half court. That gets Bill Fitch and Jimmy Rogers off the bench.
Henderson picks up the loose ball after it was stolen by Maxwell. Gerald tries to take it all the way through.
Good job by Denard. Boy, I'll tell you, there aren't many 6'5"ers that'll take it away from Gerald Henderson when he's got a head of steam up and he's taking it to the basket. That's a good job.
All right, Ray Williams for Kansas City, still leading by 7. Just under 9 minutes to go first half. Our next telecast Saturday night from New York, the Celtics and the Knicks, who are coming on hard. Matter of fact, if the playoffs were to start right now, the Knicks would have a spot. ML doesn't get it.
Okay, Steve took us off the hook and got himself a hoop finally in there after blowing that bunny. That was a stuff, really. But Rick gave the position away. There's ML getting it down floor quickly. He finally gets stopped at the baseline, but by then I believe Woodson picks up the foul.
It was Mike Woodson, his first, the second in Kansas City as a team here in the first half, or in the second quarter. ML getting the front end of the 2-shot foul. One more for ML Carr. Now 32 years old. Gets them both. 45-38. Celtics back within 7. They've trailed all the way. Kansas City's led right from the beginning.
Believe it or not, I think if the Celtics started shooting a little better from the free throw line, you know, this would help with the general malaise or whatever it is that we're all talking about here. It's wrong.
Shot well the other night in Phoenix. Nice job by Woodson.
I'll tell you, I'm impressed with old Michael. He never did that in New York.
No, sir.
He's the first time. They bring 6 first-round draft choices in off the bench. Kenny Denard is the only one of the players that are not starting that is not a first-round draft choice. Nice job.
Yes, sir. And he was on the line. Reggie King had stepped over the line. It's an infraction, a turnover against Kansas City, so the Celtics will put the ball in play.
That's the kind of no that really gets the team's attention or the coach's attention on this level, I'll tell you.
Maxwell gets it into Henderson. And the Celtics now try to cut it back to 5 points on this trip. McHale, now Roby. Maxwell, who obviously is okay after banging his knee earlier. McHale, no. Roby working hard for the board, but Woodson comes up with a loose ball.
I'll tell you,
foul Henderson.
Celtics are creating many more better shooting opportunities inside. They're not making a shot, but they're doing a better job at the shot they're looking for. Those are going to start to drop.
All right, Williams. Look at this blind pass to Woodson. Beautiful job. And he went down hard. Ray Williams with a fine bullet pass in low to Mike Woodson. Foul was on Carr. And that makes it, that's ML Carr's 3rd personal foul, by the way. That makes it 49-40. Woodson has 12 points. He's hit 6 out of 7 from the floor.
He hit 7 out of 8 if you count hitting the floor.
Yes, you're right.
He hit it pretty well, I'll tell you.
Woodson at the line to shoot one. He is a 77% foul shooter. But the rebound comes deep to Henderson. So the Celtics are down by 9 points again. 49-40. Had a sluggish first quarter. Through most of it, then started to come on toward the tail end. They went 2.5 minutes without a hoop to start the game. Maxwell has it blocked.
Wow, what an outstanding defensive play by Williams.
Woodson ahead. Now Williams lays it in.
Wow.
Great play by Mike Woodson.
I'll tell you, that is some series of developments triggered by the Ray Williams stuff of Kevin from behind there, and then finishing it off with a little jumper.
Carr from downtown hits it. 51-42. Bird and Parrish getting set to come in for the Celtics. Bird, we told you, has a problem with a very sore bunion on his foot. Henderson scrapping for the ball and giving KC fits on it. Kings finally get it over midcourt. Celtics are trailing by 9 points right now. King, blind pass in the middle. No, not a good pass. ML comes back. They're 3-on-2 all the way. Gets it. Basket counts, and he is fouled.
Good job by ML. Took it in and protected, and gives us a little left-hand dipsy doodle action here and picks up the foul. Here he is. He protects it from Williams, who just gives it a cursory slap, and then picks up the foul on a big guy.
There's Bird, who's checked into the game. Parrish has also, as Maxwell has gone out for the Celtics.
This will give ML 9 if he makes this one.
He has 9 points in the game.
His most productive quarter in a while.
Cedric Maxwell and Rick Roby have both sat down now. So the front line is McHale. They're doing this every time down the floor, Kuz. They've done that 3 times with Woodson cutting across the middle real low.
And it isn't the Celtics, unaware of what they'd like to do. Bill Fitch is up. I'm sure that's what he's going to tell them. But they're not in a ready position. They're not prepared for what they know is going to happen. There's a vast difference between just standing and bending the knees and being in what coaches call a ready position. So you're prepared to spring into action as opposed to reacting to whatever is going to happen.
Celtics have taken a timeout with 6:17 to go here in the first half. The Celtics are down 53-45. We'll be right back with more after this. Play back in. Kansas City will put the ball in play as the Celtics just turned it over, trying to get it inbounds, trying to get it up the floor.
They went to a half-court trap, and it caused a violation on Joel Henderson.
They try to go low again to Woodson. That's the 4th time they've done it and made it work. So that gives KC a 10-point lead at 55-45. The Kings are now 25 hoops and 35 shots in the game. That's 65% shooting.
The lack of pressure on the ball. In other words, the man trying to make the pass. If you don't pressure him defensively, he can stand there and allow the pick downs and the pick acrosses and whatever, the men from the weak side to come over, and he can make the pass if he doesn't have pressure that he wants to make. And this is what's happening. The Celtics are not pressuring the ball properly, and as a result, KC's taking advantage.
Bird from the corner floats in a pair, and Carr comes up with a steal. To Henderson off to Bird for 2. Well, ML stole it to McHale, back to Henderson and Bird, and Larry hits a couple of quick hoops.
That should help the cause just a bit.
Cuts it down to 6. Ray Williams trying to go around Henderson. Gerald playing him tough, but Williams pulled up and hit the jumper.
Do you think Williams has confidence in that outside shot?
I mean, say.
He holds the defense in disdain as if, the guy wasn't there. Wow.
Bird on the miss, right down the middle like it was an expressway.
Boy, did he lay a move on the defense that time.
Eddie Johnson. Now Reggie King on the turnaround and the rebound to McHale.
Celtics defense picked up a little bit on that exchange, and it caused a hurried shot.
Bird's hot. No, not this time. Eddie Johnson, Ray Williams. KC is 3-on-2. Woodson is smoking hot.
I think Mike likes that
baseline.
12-footer from the baseline.
I think he does. What's he got? 16 points now, Ray Perry, crack statistician?
How about 18?
18 points. 9 out of 10 shooting so far for Mike Woodson.
Well, when no one's guarding you, it's like playing 21 in the schoolyard. Just go take them, and if you develop the hot hand, why, even in high school, you're going to hit a pretty good percentage.
Foul on Kansas City. That is their 5th team foul. The foul is on Mike Woodson. 5th on KC in the second quarter. So the Celtics will be at the line to shoot the penalty the rest of the way. Tiny Archibald will be coming into the game for the Celtics. He does, to replace Gerald Henderson. There's Nate Tiny Archibald. ML with a pair of free throws coming up. Puts him in double figures. 10 points for ML. 59-50 as the Kings had spurted again to a 9-point lead. They've led right from the beginning and anywhere from 5 to 9 to 11 points most of the way. ML gets them both. 59-51. 4:22 left, first half. They work it in low to Woodson again. And the foul is on Archibald, and that is the 4th Celtics team foul of the second quarter. All right, King. Now here's Woodson outside. King not normally a threat from there. Eddie Johnson.
Wow.
2.
That's some kind of move.
Casey pushes it back up to 10. Kings are playing a very stubborn game. They started out hot and they've stayed hot and they've been alert on defense. Bird low to the Chief. Good night.
Well, he spun away from 3 different blue shirts and finally just put it away. That's what Williams will do.
Into the nickel seats.
He can be awfully effective, but he can also be careless with his shot selection and his passing.
Kansas City coming into the game has not taken particularly good care of the basketball. They've committed nearly 22 turnovers a game. Bird with an excellent feed to ML Carr, but he was fouled. ML goes to the line to shoot 2. He's had quite a first half here, ML, in a relief role.
Good job. Nice movement without the ball from that weak side. ML just cuts away from the defense. Bird spots him as he does so well and effectively and just lays it into his hands.
Larry Drew has replaced Mike Woodson for Kansas City. That's Larry Drew, Ray Williams, Eddie Johnson, Joe C. Merriweather, and Reggie King. Now the 5 for KC out there. ML has 12 points.
Good job by ML. He's worked awfully hard on the D as well.
He has a couple of steals. And ML has 13 points. That's just 1 short of his season high of 14.
Be nice to stop them here for about 3 minutes and get themselves maybe a little lead at halftime.
Ray Williams all the way through, now off to King. The little baseline shot is missed. And the battle for the rebound. Bird hangs tough and gets it, but he overthrows ML Carr.
Kansas City continues to do a good job on that offensive board. Johnson and who? Johnson,
Joe Merriweather.
Merriweather, I guess are the guys, that lead them on the offensive boards. So those are 2 guys you got to pay a little attention to as far as boxing out responsibilities. Timeout
called by Kansas City with 3:06 left to play in the first half. The Kansas City Kings continue to lead the Celtics right now by 6 points at 61-55. This telecast is presented by authority of the Boston Celtics and WBZ TV Sports. It is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Boston Celtics Basketball Club and WBZ TV is prohibited. Well, the Kings took the lead right away at 10-1, and they've maintained that lead at anywhere from 5 to 11 points ever since they initially went up by 9 in the first 2.5 minutes. Celtics went 2.5 without getting a basket from the floor as you look at Larry Bird and peek in a bit on the Celtics huddle. Here's Mike Woodson, 18 first half points off the bench, and he's just been a force for the Kings.
I'll tell you, we talked on top about playing against theoretically a no-name team where it's difficult to get yourself up because you don't want to stop a particular high score, whatever it is. So it's kind of a downer. The other thing that I think somewhat neutralizes defensive concentration is that Cotton uses the 10 men so often. In other words, he substitutes continually. And I'll tell you what, if nothing else, this can be confusing. You can be guarding a guy one time down the floor, and next time you look up and, someone's come in for him type of thing. What I'm saying is this can interrupt, this kind of constant substituting can also interrupt your defensive concentration.
Well, the Kings continue to shoot wild here in the first half. 28 out of 40, that's 70%. Celtics are out rebounding them 19-13. The Celtics aren't shooting badly. They're shooting at 52%. Still, they find themselves down by 6 points. The steal on the tip, and then Robert Parrish has it.
The Chief is so quick for a man his size. Boy, if you get careless and show him that ball a little too often, he's going to get at it.
McHale, low to Bird. Couple of fakes, left-handed, blocked by Merriweather.
Well, I'll tell you, he made up for it. That's a fine defensive play by Merriweather.
Drew, partially deflected by McHale, and a loose ball foul on Kansas City. I believe on Joe C. It is Joe C. Merriweather. And on Joe C. Merriweather, that is personal foul number 3 in the game. He will come out, and Steve Johnson is back in for KC. We haven't seen their number 1 draft choice, rookie LaSalle Thompson from Texas, the 6'10" rebounding whiz. McHale at the line to shoot a pair for the Celtics. Down 61-55 right now. 2:35 left first half.
I'll tell you, this doesn't look like a team that was, what, 22 games under 500 at the end of last season. So in that sense, Cotton has done a good job in putting it all together. As we started to say, they were decimated, losing.
Well, they lost Wedman,
Birdsong, Phil Ford, Cliff Robinson. You know, they've really put things back together here.
All right, Eddie Johnson looking for help. Finally finds Drew. Johnson again. Air ball. ML with it, and now Archibald. The Celtics are within 4 points at this point. McHale, now the Chief, wheeling in for the skyhook. Gets his own rebound. Again, no. Rebound, Ray Williams. Dishing off nicely on the wing to Drew. Charging foul on Larry Drew as Bird stood his ground. Absorbed the punishment.
He turned his back to Bird. You know, he didn't want to absorb all that. He figured when he did that, Bird would fall off. Larry anticipated the move, stayed right home.
ML takes it all the way in, doesn't get it. Reggie King. Now Williams. Williams, nice dish off to Eddie Johnson. Excellent pass. And the layup for 2 when he was fouled by Bird. And Eddie Johnson will go to the line. Watch
They
this.
hang tough, don't they?
They sure do.
Here it is. Williams takes it as far as he cares to. Bird plays it well, stays centered. So he's in a good position to try to get to the ball. Watch this now. Bird doesn't commit himself. He stays right in the middle. That's what you want to do, kids, on that 2-on-1. So you still give yourself an opportunity to get back to that outlet man. He did it, but Johnson was just too tough.
And he makes it a 3-point play. And so Kansas City is back up by 7 at 64-57. We have 1:43 left in the first half. At halftime, Coos will talk with Easy Ed McCauley, who's in here doing the commentary on the Kansas City telecast. Parrish. And a foul on Ray Williams as Steve Johnson
absorbed the blow.
Give us a little something or other.
It wasn't exactly a Barrymore. He's overplaying him to keep him from the middle, and Robert puts his shoulder into him. There was contact, not quite as hard as Steve Johnson would have us believe, I don't think.
Parrish gets the first free throw, so it's 64-58. One more for Robert Parrish with 1.5 minutes to go in the half. Rims it out on the second one.
It's only the second foul shot that the Celtics have missed, I believe, so they are shooting better from the line.
Okay, here's Larry Drew. Steve Johnson, the steal by Larry Bird. He leads the team in steals. Ahead to ML on a breakaway.
Good job.
Excellent job by Bird on the steal. He had 115 coming in and then laid it off to Carr for an easy 2.
This is about as well as you can throw a long full court lead pass. Watch ML. He'll be completely stretched out, running full speed. Well, you don't see it, but he was able to run down. Williams answers from outside and somewhat neutralizes that play, but fine pass by Bird. As I say, led him right to the basket for the 2.
66-60. Carr has 15 points right now. Parrish all the way to the basket. With the ease of a gazelle, he swoops in for 2. 66-64. 33 seconds left first half.
Kansas City defense breaking down just a bit here. Evidently, that's the effect that Merriweather has when he's out of there.
They look like they're a little tired, Coos. Not offensively, but defensively, they don't seem to be making the extra step that they have.
I agree. Well, they've worked hard. They've helped each other out well defensively here in the first half, but it does take a lot out of a team. On the other hand, you know, Cotton has been substituting freely. So
Parrish, 2 more.
I'll tell you, Roberts' eyes lit up.
The steal by ML, but it's out of bounds.
Roberts' eyes lit up when he saw Steve Johnson coming in, and I can see why. He's saying, let me have that ball. I want this guy.
Celtics have cut it to 4, and that is the end of the first half. So the Celtics come back with a strong second quarter, outscoring Kansas City by a point in that second quarter. KC still holds the lead. Matter of fact, a very high-scoring game. Kansas City had 31 points in the second quarter. The Celtics came away with 32. So at halftime, it is Kansas City 68, the Celtics 64.
Obviously, I think Bill Fitch would settle, you know, for just getting it together and playing well coming into the playoffs, as opposed to, you know, any dramatic attempt at catching Philadelphia. I think just want to cut down and get the problem straightened out, cut down on the errors, and go to work.
All right, KC with the ball to start the second half. They have Drew and Williams at the guards. There's Williams with a bad shot over Ainge. Rebound to Bird, ahead to Danny Ainge. Nice move. 2 points. He pulled off a nice move on Drew right at the end of that play.
Triggered by the bad shot by Williams. Now, he shot extremely well the first half, but this is what he would constantly do in New York, is, as I say, take the ill-advised shot or the make the poor pass, which would trigger an outburst from the opponent.
Bird, second rebound in a row. The Celtics down by 2 and a chance to tie it here for the first time tonight, and they do. Robert Parrish wheeling inside on Joe C. Merriweather ties the game.
Watch this. Merriweather gives him the position and then doesn't step away from him, and this allows Robert to roll off him and into the basket. Once he got that close, any attempt by Merriweather was simply an easy foul to call as far as Earl Storm was concerned.
That is the 4th foul on Merriweather, and there's the rookie, #1 draft choice from Texas, 6'10", 245 pounds. Large young man, LaSalle Thompson. Parrish misses the free throw. Thompson, as a rookie, averaging 5.5 points and 4.5 rebounds a game, and he's blocked 45 shots. The turnaround by Eddie Johnson puts KC ahead again at 70-68.
Johnson.
Oh, look at this. Parrish running the floor. Ties it up. That's 70. Just ran away from LaSalle Thompson.
Yeah. I think, Robert ought to have a field day now with Merriweather on a bench and Steve Johnson and Thompson, the only two to try to contend them.
Okay, this is Larry Drew, and now Eddie Johnson. The Celtics going with Ainge, Archibald, Maxwell, Bird, and Parrish. The rebound to Ed Neely, no, and out of bounds off KC. Ed Neely, the other forward with Eddie Johnson. Now another substitution for Kansas City, as LaSalle Thompson goes out and Steve Johnson comes in.
We told you, Cotton
played a minute
in and out of there in a hurry.
Minute and a half. We've had 3 centers in there for Kansas City. Tied at 70, the Celtics looking for their first lead of the game. They have trailed right from the beginning. Bird, who has not had too many opportunities to shoot tonight. Parrish is doubled up. 2 seconds on the shot clock. No. Rebound by Ed Neely.
I'll tell you, I like the way Neely clamps on that ball when he gets it. You know,
he certainly does.
You tell your big men to do that, but not too many of them do. They kind of come down flamboyantly.
They give Drew the outside shot. He misses it. Bird takes down his 3rd rebound of the quarter. Ahead to Parrish again. Celtics lead first time.
Well, Cotton's looking at a bench again. He just took LaSalle Thompson out for allowing Robert to beat him down floor, and same thing happens now with Steve Johnson. So Merriweather's obviously his only answer in terms of having enough speed and alertness to to make that move. Wow.
Steve Johnson getting low to tie the game again at 72. Celtics so far have outscored Kansas City at 8-4 to start this second half. Maxwell, several moves on the rookie Ed Neely, but doesn't get the hoop. Maxwell gets the rebound, however. Gets 2. Basket counts, and he's fouled. Good work by Cedric Maxwell.
I think Cedric's a little happy about that one. That's good job. Way to hang in there. I'll tell you, the way Kansas City is hustling off those boards, it's not easy to do that. That's one of the reasons, by the way, why Parrish is able to beat their men down floor. because they're staying on the offensive board as long as they can. They've been relatively successful doing that, but it opens up the opportunity for Parrish on the other end.
9 minutes to go, third quarter. Celtics leading 74-72. Williams getting the ball low to Steve Johnson, who can't hold on. Ainge is really pressuring Williams here in the second half, because remember, you mentioned in the first half you've got to press the passer, and that's what he's doing.
That will make a great deal of difference in terms of the effectiveness of the half-court offense.
Oh, look at this. Bird to Parrish. Was that pretty? Yeah. KC wants a timeout.
Yeah, Cotton's got to make a decision. He's got to have Merriweather in there and take the chance on his fouling out.
8:39 to go, third quarter. Celtics lead by 4. It's at 11 tonight here on TV4. All right, Celtics with a 12-4 surge have taken the lead at 76-72. The missed shot by the Kings and the rebound by Parrish and a jump ball. Parrish and Ed Neely, who refused to give up his position and the ball.
You don't see that often. They simultaneously trapped the ball on the backboard, and neither one of them had the advantage in terms of pulling it away.
Parrish with the tap. Maxwell and now Ainge. KC has cooled off. They're 2 for 8 here in the third quarter. Celtics lead by 6. Parrish now has 10 of the Celtics 14 points in this quarter, and he has 24 in the game.
If he doesn't get Johnson out of there, Robert's going to break Wilt Chamberlain's record. What is it, 100 points?
100, exactly.
Wow.
Hershey, Pennsylvania. They double up on Steve Johnson, who gets into all kinds of difficulty, gets it back outside. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Eddie Johnson, the miss, gets his own rebound, misses it again. Now all those good shots of the first half are going awry for KC. 3-on-3. Max on the wing on the pass from Ainge. No. Foul is called. Charging on Maxwell. 78-72. Celtics leading on a 14-4 run.
Good job by Neely getting back and establishing his position. Looked like a good call.
All right, Drew takes it to the hoop. Nice move, but again it rims out. The tip in goes.
See, that's what I mean. Johnson gets the tip. He stays on the offensive board, but if he misses the tip, Robert Parrish is getting 2 on the other end. He's going to beat him down here. As opposed to when a shot is taken, you know, Johnson goes the other way quickly in anticipation of Robert sprinting down there on him.
6 seconds on the shot clock. Tiny hits the outside shot.
Starting to open up a bit for the Celtics.
80-74. Boston by 6 points now. This is their biggest lead of the game. And a charging foul on Ray Williams. There it is.
Defense digging in. There's Danny with the good lateral movement. Establishes the defensive position. Picks up the charge on Williams, his second.
KC's second team foul of the third quarter. Bird has the ball knocked out of his hands by Eddie Johnson. The Celtics still have 11 seconds on the shot clock. Bird gets it into it. Danny Ainge. Ainge from downtown. Yes. 2 points just inside the line.
Yes, sir.
24-footer by Danny Ainge. 82-74. Celtics by 8 points now, as they have put on a spurt here to start the third quarter. Drew has it stolen by Ainge. Right into the hands of Tiny. Celtics are motoring. Bird, open shot. Snowflake. 84-74. KC wants a 20-second timeout. A 20-second timeout taken by the Kansas City Kings. A 20-second timeout. So the Celtics quickly, with a tremendous run to start the third quarter, have pushed ahead by 10 points. They are 10 for 12 from the floor. The Celtics have outscored Kansas City 20-6 here in this surge to take a 10-point lead. And have they triggered it with defense, mon ami?
Yes, they have. And I'm afraid that they're going to need more than 20 seconds to get this act together, because the Celtics all of a sudden have, as we said, picked up their defensive intensity, but their all-around play has picked up, and as a result, normally, you know, that's what will occur. When you dig in defensively, the rest of the game comes around pretty quickly, too. So looks like the offense has picked up as well.
Eddie Johnson getting it low to Neely, and he lays it in.
Well, that's a pretty good job by the big guy.
Tell you, for an 8th round draft choice to make it in the NBA is miraculous. To make it as a starter is even more so.
He has great hands, and he muscles it up to the basket well.
Max on the drive, doesn't get it. Battling for the rebound, Parrish and Johnson jump ball. Second jump ball of this quarter. You don't see that many in the NBA. Bill Sarr making the call.
I'm really surprised that he hasn't gone back to Merriweather, because by the time, you know, for the sake of being careful, 4 fouls is not all that many on this level. A good player can stay away from fouling, but what I'm saying, by the time he gets through being careful, I'll tell you what, the Celtics could have a 20-point lead. It might be all shoot. You know, it won't matter whether Merriweather's in the game or not. I think you have to gamble occasionally. And this is one time when I'd do it. Double team on Johnson.
Celtics lead by 8. The double team comes away with a steal ahead to Danny Ainge. Block foul. He's looking for a goaltending call on Larry Drew, but he won't get it. Ainge will shoot 2.
That was pretty good defensive play here on the part of Drew.
Yes, it is.
I think if Danny had gone up immediately, he had himself a layup. You notice he puts the brakes on and kind of makes a jump shot out of a layup. If he had just continued in his normal motion, I think he'd have gotten it up there. Drew would not have had the opportunity to get in and deflect the shot.
Ainge makes it 85-76. One more shot for Danny. He's a 79.5% foul shooter. Got them both. Celtics lead 10 points, 86-76. Drew, 6'1" guard from Missouri. Now Johnson takes it to the hoop. Whoa. My goodness.
Oh, Max is saying, what am I doing under there?
With multo espirito.
Yes. I think he meant it, really. I think he wanted to dunk this thing.
You're right.
Oh, Darryl Dawkins would have been proud of that one.
Ain't much it gets by you, old-timer.
Yes.
All right, Tiny.
Notice things.
Larry Bird. Celtics
eyes
up by
open
8.
in this league.
Now Parrish, he's been hot. Bang again.
Well, you see what happens when you know you've got a weak defender on you. You know, your own shooting talent increases only in terms of your confidence, you know, and you shoot looser.
Celtics are 4 on 3. The dish off to Ainge. Basket good, and he is fouled. And a great feed by Tiny Archibald. What a beauty this was. Ainge made the steal at the other end to trigger it. Watch it. Just the flick of the left hand by Tiny and led Ainge perfectly. Here's a better view of it. Look at that.
Super activity between the two guards. Tiny flips off, stays at the foul line, so he'll hold one defender out there. That helps to open up a little bit more of a lane for Ainge, who uses his breakaway speed to get down floor and get himself free.
Ainge has 17 points in the game. Robert Parrish has 26. Parrish has scored 12 in this half. In this third quarter, Ainge has scored 8. Ainge another steal. Here they come. They're 4 on 2. The re-steal by Larry Drew. Bird stays home. Drew lays it in. Celtics looking for the quick advantage. They get it. 3 on 1. Maxwell to the Chief. 2. No. Traveling is called.
That's going to be taken away.
Traveling. Kansas City now with 18 turnovers in the game. The Celtics with 14. 91-80, the Celtics' biggest lead, 11 points. Another steal by Ainge. He's coming all alone. Lays it in. 19 points for Ainge. He's had 4 steals in this quarter.
You notice not only we talked about the defensive intensity and effect it had on the Celtic offense. You notice the effect it's having also on the Kansas City offense. It is completely disrupted. You know, they've lost their cool. They've gone to kind of a schoolyard one-on-one offense after running a well-structured half-court offense for most of the first half.
Larry just couldn't gain control of the ball as the Celtics tried to fast break again. Their lead is 13 points. Johnson thundering through on the miss. On a follow-up, no. And a loose ball foul, Kansas City on LaSalle Thompson, who had come in to replace Steve Johnson. That is the 5th team foul in Kansas City. The Celtics haven't committed a foul yet in this third quarter. There's Ray Williams back in for KC as Cotton Fitzsimmons is doing everything he can to try to stem the tide. But I'll tell you what, while he's slamming the doors shut, they're coming in through the windows.
Well, I think Cotton got carried away a little bit by the success of the shooters in the first half and thinking that he could go run and shoot with the Celtics.
He knew the shooting had to cool off.
Exactly, and he knows he doesn't have the shooters to go 48 with the Celtics here at home, you know, in this kind of a running up and down shooting type of game. Plus, when Merriweather got into the foul difficulty, that's when I'd have gone into a deep stall, I think.
Bird hits the 2 free throws. The Celtics stretch their lead out to a game-high 15 points. KC is 6 out of 17 in this third quarter. The Celtics have just totally dominated the quarter. They're even pulling the shots up short now as Woodson missed there. Ahead to Bird. Off to the Chief. Little turnaround. 2 more. Boston on a roll, leads by 17 points. I'll tell you, this has been a superb quarter for the Celtics.
Sure has. Everything falls into place when you give it a good, strong effort defensively.
Ainge nearly coming up with his 5th steal of the quarter.
Well, they're anticipating that swing of the ball over the top very well.
LaSalle Thompson, the rookie, on the little jump shot. And it's 97-82. Maxwell. Now Tiny and the Celtics will slow things down. They have been running and gunning in this third quarter. Parrish backing into the rookie. Back out to the Tiny. Rims it out. Parrish off the offensive board, can't control. All right, here's Ray Williams. Slapped away by Archibald. Taken off by Bird. Wow. Ahead to Ainge. 2 more. Celtics showing blistering speed in this quarter, Coos. Woodson has it blocked by Maxwell. Into the hands of Ainge. Ahead to Archibald. 2 more. A spectacular third quarter. Kansas City wants timeout. 1 minute and 48 to go in the third quarter. The Celtics are on to a blistering 19-point lead. With timeout on the floor, it is Boston 101, Kansas City 82. Gil Santos and Bob Cousy back at the Garden, where the Celtics have spurted 37-14 in this quarter. As you see it right there. Kansas City 8 turnovers, 6 of them have been steals. The Celtics have hit 16 out of 20 shots in this quarter. Parrish 7 out of 8. Ainge 5 out of 5. And a foul is called on the Celtics, a blocking foul on Tiny Archibald. That is only the first team foul of the third quarter on the Celtics.
I think he's going to give him 2, however. Bill Saar is out over wanting to give him the ball at half court, but Earl Strom calls him back and tells him it was in the act of shooting. So Ray Williams will go to the line.
So Williams shoots 2 for KC. And he gets the first one. Third personal foul on Tiny. Ray Williams gets them both. Ray Williams, 74.5% foul shooter. 101-84. The Celtics on top. They've had a spectacular third quarter. Just running up and down the floor with abandon. Larry Bird has gone out and Kevin McHale is in for the Celtics. Ainge kicks it low to the Chief, who wheels around his man, but the foul was called beforehand, and Robert will shoot 2 shots. LaSalle Thompson picking up his 2nd personal. How many fouls do they have in the center position? I know Merriweather's got 4. And LaSalle Thompson now has 2, so that's 6. How many did Steve Johnson? Did he get any?
He never got close enough to pick up a foul. It's hard to pick up a foul from 3 feet away. Babe.
One more shot coming for Robert Parrish. It's 102-84 with 1 minute and 20 to go, third quarter. Ray Williams, who is not shy. Robert Parrish just snagged that one out of midair.
Ray's a fine shooter, but what he has to work on is his shot selection. You know, you just don't take fall-away jumpers when you're down by 18 or whatever it is, away from home, and you're trying to claw back into the game. That's when you got to look for the good shot.
McHale backing in up over the shorter man, misses the shot, and LaSalle Thompson had the ball knocked out of bounds by Parrish, so it'll be KC ball. 51 seconds left, third quarter. The Celtics have really put on a show here in this third quarter with incredible fast break basketball. Mike Woodson, fall away, totally off balance. McHale the rebound.
Yeah, there it is again.
The Chief.
Look at Thompson. Thompson
wasn't even at the foul line yet.
And he's a rookie. What's he going to be like in 8 years if he can't get up and down that floor? You know, when a guy beats you once like that, there's an excuse for it. Although I'm sure the Kansas City Senators have been warned about Robert if they haven't seen him in action before. After that, you've got to get your butt back there.
Parrish has, look at this by Ray Williams, very fancy one-on-one basketball. Nice play by Ainge. No. He had stepped out of bounds with it. It'll be Kansas City ball. The Robert Parrish has 31 points in this game, 17 here in the third quarter, where the Celtics have spurted to an 18-point lead. Another steal for Ainge. That is his 5th of this quarter. Archibald quite catch up with it. The end of a spectacular third quarter and a big hand for the Celtics. After 3, it is Boston by 18 biggies. Celtics outscored Kansas City 40-18 in that third quarter, Kuz. There's Larry Bird resting his aching bunions. Actually, he does have a very sore bunion on his right foot, which is keeping him out of the action right now with the Celtics up by 18. But what a quarter, Kuz. 40-18 Boston.
Outstanding. One of the better ones. And they've got them playing their game, as they say. And hopefully that will be good news, or continue to be good news for the Celtics. Merriweather's still not in the game, however, and I'll tell you what, it's going to be too late, pretty soon.
All right, Gerald Henderson joins Ainge now in the backcourt. Roby at center, Maxwell and McHale are the forwards, and the ball is out of bounds off the Celtics. It'll be KC ball. The Kings counter with Larry Drew and Mike Woodson at the guards. LaSalle Thompson at center. Eddie Johnson and Reggie King are the forwards. Celtics defense triggering that 40-18 third quarter. Coming up with 7 steals in the quarter. Ainge had 5 of them. All right, Henderson for the Celtics. The lead is down to 16 points with 11 minutes and 15 seconds left in the game. Now McHale on the turnaround, gets it. Basket counts, and he was fouled.
Good job. It took him a while to extricate himself from the double team pressure, but he finally kind of stumbled out of there and into a nice field goal. Somehow Kevin's going to get to his favorite shot. He's trying to take it into the middle and take it to the basket for a layup. But what he really wants is that fall-away job.
Kevin has had a strong game off the bench this evening. He's got 15 points now and 9 rebounds. Celtics with a big edge in rebounding here in this game. They had an edge of about 4 or 5 at the half, and they've certainly spread that out in this third quarter. They just swept it clean.
They figured too. They're about 3 rebounds a game stronger on the season than Kansas City, so they figured to have an edge. But I'll tell you, Kansas City,
another steal for Ainge. Look at this.
Ainge
had 6 steals. To Henderson behind the back, McHale. Oh! Here comes a dandy.
Gerald reads the play beautifully. Knows he's got the defense committed and just almost takes him off the floor and then just lays it back there for Kevin.
Biggest Celtic lead of the game, 21 points. McHale the rejection. LaSalle Thompson is fouled by Kevin McHale on the second shot. Celtics now lead by 21 points, their biggest lead of the game. And they've had some great individual performances in this game.
Evidently, Cotton, of course, has seen a little bit more of his team than we have, but evidently he's got great confidence in, in the 2 backup centers, Steve Johnson and his kid LaSalle Thompson here.
Kenny Denard comes in for Kansas City, replacing Eddie Johnson.
Eddie's had a pretty good night. 17, 19 points, and he's done a lot of damage on that offensive board.
LaSalle Thompson, who is a bricklayer at the foul line, he's only 58% coming in.
What makes you say that? Because he didn't hit the backboard on that last one?
Well, he did, but it was at the other end of the floor. He clanks 2 off of there. Roby gets the rebound. Ainge, 21 points, 6 steals in the game. 9 for 11 from the floor. Roby thought he was going to call a foul on Thompson, but he didn't. Call the ball out of bounds off LaSalle Thompson, so Rick Roby will put it in play.
I'll tell you, Robes is happy. He's got a big guy in Thompson he can bang around with under there.
McHale wheels around with a fancy move, doesn't get it.
Kevin, old buddy, leave that move for the Larry Birds and the Fanny Archibalds of the league.
Kansas City kicks it out of bounds. They now have 24 turnovers in the game. The Celtics have just taken the play away from Kansas City here in the second half. Gerald, little banker. Nope. Thompson and now Drew. Roby the rebound. Maxwell. Ainge. Celtics leading 21 points. McHale out there at point guard. They have 8 seconds on the shot clock. Henderson trying to come around Drew. Bullet pass to Roby. Doesn't get it. That's a great pass by Gerald Henderson. Didn't get the easy shot. M.L. Carr will come in for the Celtics. Races Danny Ainge, who nailed 21 points to go with his 6th steal. Whew. Fine game for Ainge. All right, Drew for KC. Celtics 109, Kansas City 88. 9 minutes to go in the game. Our next telecast Saturday night from New York against the Knicks. A layup for LaSalle Thompson. ML has hit a season high tonight of 15 points. He's just checked into the game. All of them coming in the first half. Roby, or rather McHale, tried to take Denard to the basket. ML, the steal, no. Reggie King. Mike Woodson on the cut to Denard. Celtics want a timeout. So, with 8 minutes and 33 seconds to go in the basketball game, the score is the Celtics 109, Kansas City 92. Gil Santos and Bob Cousy at the Garden. Celtics leading 109-92. Robert Parrish 31 points. Danny Ainge 21. Kevin McHale 17. ML Carr 15. Larry Bird 12. McHale with 9 rebounds. Celtics are 33-5 on the season when they've gone into the fourth quarter with a lead. I tell you, that Ray Perry comes up with all kinds of goodies, doesn't he, Coos? Isn't he amazing?
Oh, Raymond is tough.
That's why he's a legend down in East Providence. Cedric Maxwell has the ball knocked out of his hands by Reggie King. Max will put it in play. Celtics with Henderson, Carr, Roby, McHale, and Maxwell on the floor right now. And they're playing against Drew, Woodson, King, Thompson, and Denard.
Bill Fitch wants to keep running, I'm sure, but he wants him to be a little bit more careful.
Roby. He of the outside jumper.
Okay, Robes.
111-92. Coming in for Kansas City, number 33, just saw there in your picture for a moment, is Steve Johnson. He replaces LaSalle Thompson.
Well, a little collision of bodies there on the Larry Drew drive. Kevin McHale is shaking off. Looks like a finger injury there.
As the first foul on Roby. Taking a breather for the Celtics, Cedric Maxwell, as Scott Wedman has come into the game. There's Wedman, who just came in. So far, the only people who have not played now are Buckner and Bradley. At the free throw line, Larry Drew, 2 shots. Kansas City got off to a roaring start at 10-1. They led at the quarter 37-32. They led at halftime 68-64. The Celtics came out smoking in the third quarter, both offensively and defensively, took the lead for good at 74-72 and have never looked back. Drew gets them both. Oh, it's 111-93 Boston. Here's Wedman. And now Roby.
A little 2-1-2 zone pressure. A little slow developing, and ball never in danger, really. Celtics handled it well.
Henderson off the pick by Wedman, buries it. Wedman appears to have lost a couple of pounds, Coos. Looks a little thinner.
I think that's what Scott needs. I don't know how well. Obviously, he was playing a lot in Cleveland, but, you know, he didn't get that much playing time early here, getting adjusted to the Celtics and all, and I think maybe that's what'll help him get in shape and start producing as quickly as anything.
Roby picks off the air ball. Celtics lead by 20. Their biggest lead has been 21. KC's biggest lead in the first half was 11. Wedman with 9 seconds on the shot clock. Now Roby, jump pass right to the hands of Denard, ahead to Steve Johnson, and there are 2 more for KC. 113-95 is our score. Celtics cruising along off a 40-18 third quarter. Roby wheeling, nice.
Good job. Took him inside and then spun him outside. Little jump hook.
This is developing into a one-on-one game for Kansas City's guards right now, as they're just pushing the ball up the floor and firing away at will. 115-97.
Well, unless they add a little defense to the offensive show. When you're 19
Steal.
down,
ML Carr.
doesn't count for much.
Henderson, his shot. Oh, air ball that time. He's generally deadly with that baseline jumper.
Yeah, we saw Woodson put on a show with that shot.
Sure
in the
did.
first half, but I agree. Joe likes that shot.
Whoa! Slam dunk by Steve Johnson, and McHale hit the deck, and he is going to be called for the foul. This is a collision of 2 big men.
Look at the left arm. You know, that could have gone the other way, too. Steve Johnson. Kevin gets a piece of the ball. It still goes in the hole, and then Steve Johnson grabbed him with the left arm. I thought maybe Bill Self was going to go the other way on it. That's good. Turns out to be a good move by Johnson.
And you thought basketball was a non-contact sport, eh, folks? 115-99 as Kansas City has crept back to within 16 with 5:40 to go in the game. McHale's jump hook. He's got about 4 or 5 inches on Kenny Denard. Just swooped over him.
I'll tell you, it's nice to know that you can turn blind over most of the men guarding you. Just turn blind, lean in, and you know you're going to get that shot off without having it rejected. And that's the luxury that Kevin enjoys, really. There aren't too many bigger guys that teams can match up against him.
Kevin now has 19 points in the game. Reggie King on the miss gets his own rebound and puts it through. 5:15 to go in the game. Henderson, as the Celtics try to work some plays here. Wedman. McHale sneaking inside, gets the basket, and he's fouled by Steve Johnson. That's 21 points for Kevin McHale off the bench.
Here it is. They rotate Kevin down low after about 3 exchanges. That's the matchup they're looking for, as we've noted a number of times tonight. They know that they just don't have anyone on the floor that can stop Kevin. So a little rotation, open it up, try to avoid the double team and get it into him quickly. And Kevin's going to get you something.
Here's Ray Williams, who has come into the game for Kansas City, replacing Larry Drew. McHale trying to make it a 3-point play. Kevin has 22 on the night now, one of his biggest nights of the season. All right, Ray Williams pops it. 120-103. Boston by 17 with 4.5 minutes left to play in the game. Some of the folks heading for the exits right now. Scott Wedman, now Roby, a little backdoor to McHale. 20. What's that? 24 now for Kevin. Steal by Henderson, but it's out of bounds into the hands of Cotton Fitzsimmons and off of Gerald Henderson. Watch this one by Kevin.
Yeah, same play again. This time they bring Roby up high, and that clears the middle for Kevin. And again, you know, Reggie King no way he's going to give him much of a battle at 6'6".
That had to be steps, please. Yes, it was. Reggie King took a couple of giant steps and then one baby step. No hoop. Charles Bradley getting set to come into the game for the Celtics. ML fires in his 16th and 17th points of the game. Celtics are rolling along free and easy right now. The steal by Carr. Foul called on the Celtics. Charles Bradley will come in for Boston, and he will replace Kevin McHale, who goes out with 24 points and I believe 10 rebounds. .352 left in the game. The Celtics with a 21-point lead. As the 5th team foul on the Celtics, Kansas City will be at the line to shoot. There's Charles, who has come into the game.
Charles did not see much action on the West Coast. Played a few minutes in the Phoenix game.
Phoenix and I think he played in San Diego as well.
Well, I guess he didn't play in Phoenix. I think just in San Diego.
Yeah. .124 to 105. Celtics by 19. But they put this one on ice in that third quarter that was 40-18 and was just something to behold. Henderson straight away.
Oh, he line drive that one home, didn't he?
Yeah. Mike Woodson, who had such a great first half, who's what do you have, 18 points, 9 out of 10 from the floor, has not hit a shot in the second half.
Well, as we said, Celtics have tightened up their D. That's all they needed.
Bradley and
I was just thinking, we're commenting on Charles Bradley not, getting too much playing time lately. And how would you like to be the guy that he's got in Kansas City?
Yeah, he's going to come in.
Charles comes out like a roaring tiger, even when he's getting a lot of playing time. He's been sitting on that bench waiting to get in. The guy's saying, "Oh Lord, here's 3 minutes to go," and this human dynamo is going to come in and do a number on me. Reggie just picked up the first bit. Yeah, well, every player obviously likes to play. It would be nice if it were a 12-man game and then everyone could play all the time. It doesn't work that way, so it's frustrating for the guys that don't. And they save it up and usually take it out on the opponents, and that's what Charles just did to Reggie King.
Well, it should be. Wedman the rebound. Brooks Steppe, a rookie #1 pick from Georgia Tech, is in for the Kansas City Kings, and Steppe just got whacked right in the hand. That rebounding action. Ray Williams for KC. Celtics leading by 20. Williams. Now here's Kevin Loder, who checked into the game moments ago. Wedman forces him to lose the ball. How many turnovers is that, Ray Perry? 27 turnovers on Kansas City. The Kings have taken a timeout with 2:56 left to play in the game. The score is the Celtics 126, Kansas City 106. Santos and Bob Cousy at the Garden with 2:51 to go in the game, and the Celtics cruising along with a 20-point lead. Wedman. Charles Bradley will be called for steps. Philadelphia leads New York 85-79. They are in the fourth quarter at New York in that one. The Celtics are 27 for 40 in the second half shooting, 67.5%. Here's Ray Williams. And the ball was stolen, but a foul will be called on the Celtics.
Over the limit, however, so Ray Williams will go to the line.
Kansas City came into the game 28 and 28, so they'll fall below 500. The Celtics came in at 41 and 15, same exact record they had a year ago at this time. Difference is that Philadelphia is rolling along like a wild caravan, and they have an 8-game lead on the Celtics. The Celtics a year ago with that same 41 and 15 record after 56 games had a lead of a game and a half. They were in the midst of that 18-game winning streak.
Kansas City had a super first half of the season. Were in first place most of the way. Larry Drew hurt himself and was out for 2 or 3 weeks, and they lost like 5 in a row. Went into a losing spell there.
Wedman off the loose ball. No. Bradley almost tips it in. Wedman gets it back. No. Roby. No basket. The foul was called off the shot taken by Scott Wedman. With 2:15 left, Wedman will shoot a couple of free throws. Kansas City right now has Loader, Steppe, Williams, King, and LaSalle Thompson in the game. The Celtics have Carr, Bradley, Roby, Henderson, and Wedman in the game. Wedman, an 82% foul shooter, gets his first one. One more for Scott Wedman. Again, a 20-point Boston lead. This is Brooks Steppe, supposed to be a great shooter. Got an offensive foul called on Kevin Loader. Steppe played at Georgia Tech on a weak team in the Atlantic Coast Conference, but was quite a star down there, and I guess has a reputation as a great shooter. 2 minutes in the game. ML does not get it. Loose ball off the Celtics. It'll be KC to put it in play. Remember, our next telecast is Saturday night at New York when the Celtics play the Knickerbockers. Williams behind the back with it, although I don't think he intentionally wanted to do that. LaSalle Thompson really gets his head taken off. Loader intimidated by Roby, and Rick pushes it up the floor like a little watch charm guard.
Go get him there. Little guy, point guard.
ML tried to hook a pass there. He got it that time. Wedman straight away. Steppe the rebound. 1:24 left. Stolen. Henderson on the floor for the ball. Right in the hands, however, of Steppe.
Getting just a little bit sloppy out there.
That shows you the kind of dedication that Henderson has, however. A 20-point lead, and he's still diving for a loose ball. Kevin Loader hits the layup. 128 to 110 with 1:10 to play.
Well, occasionally teams will come off long road trips and have a little bit of a letdown when they get back home. I think that was true certainly for most of the first half, but I'll tell you, they found themselves in an intensity in the second half and just blew them away.
Charles Bradley has it blocked by Steppe. Roby the loose ball. No. Rebound to Wedman. Down to 40 seconds to play in the game. Wedman certainly had to be fouled there. Finally, the foul call. And Wedman will get a couple of shots.
The officials know that this game has been safely tucked away,
yep,
and they'd like the people who get to that parking lot a little quicker, and they're kind of letting the boys play, as they say.
Wedman will shoot 2 for the Celtics. Misses the first one. 36 seconds to play in the game. This one has been in the bank since the Celtics went wild in the third quarter with a 40-18 run. As they pulled ahead by 18 points after 3 quarters, and it's the lowest it's been since then has been 16. Bradley with a big sky rebound. Charles all the way now to Henderson, and a foul was called. 51. That'll put the foul was called on Bradley when someone fouled Bradley when he went to pass it off. So Charles will shoot a couple of free throws. Tonight, by the way, the 102nd consecutive Boston Garden sellout crowd has been on hand. Bradley hits this free throw, then all the Celtics who have played will have scored. They do. All the Celtics that played scored. 11 players played. Quinn Buckner did not. Steppe going low, and now King. Steppe working with the ferocity of a man who doesn't usually play very much.
Well, the same thing we talked about a moment ago with Charles Bradley obviously can be applied to Brooks Steppe. You can always tell, you know, when the rooks or whoever, as I say, the so-called non-players or guys who aren't getting the minutes get their opportunity, especially late in a wide open game like this, you know.
Yeah.
They can do either a lot of damage offensively or sometimes do a lot of physical damage because the opponent isn't ready to meet that kind of, you know, aggressive intensity. And I'll tell you, that's unfortunately when a lot of guys can get hurt.
Carr alley-ooping to Bradley, no. With 5 seconds left. And the ball goes out of bounds. The ball game is over. The Celtics win it by 18 points. A stupendous third quarter. The key to this one, the Celtics outscored Kansas City 40-18 in the third quarter.